As was said earlier, you can kind of imagine the excitement that the team had. As we go out recruiting, there's a lot of things you want, of course, college athletes to have a chance to be a part of. Of course, seeing the world, we're a melting pot, team-wise. So for our guys to have a chance to see another part of the world should be pretty exciting down the line, a little bit down the line. This week for us, yesterday I had a chance to be a part of kicking off homecoming activities here. The older you get, the more special homecoming week becomes for you. So for us, just a little recap from our last game. Don't like the way we started. Of course, you go into every football game wanting to win the football game. But if that doesn't happen, you have to find some things to build on. And we're right at the halfway point of our season. And as we look at our season, I guess you can say, as we go forward, you look to the last game. When you get down 28-0, you have some decisions to make. And we went in at the half and decided that, first off, we're a lot better football team than that. But more importantly, we're going to play a lot better than that. Defense had to get them stopped to start the second half. They did. And from there, we had to score points. So to be able to score 25 unanswered points like that lets our team, gives our team some confidence going in. Of course, we played a top 16 team. This week, we get a chance to play a top 6 team. Of course, we have history with the University of Wisconsin, know what they're going to bring, to the table on both sides of the football. We had a few injuries from our last game. As we get to practice tomorrow, we'll be able to well, of course, we're not going to let you know, but, we'll know a lot better about our injury situation. Of course, Brandon Peters missed last week. We're going to need all hands on deck, of course, this week. Take your question.
How'd Matt Robinson do when you looked at film? What'd you think?
I think overall, Bob, you have to like. Again, I'm going to talk about third quarter. Love what he did after we got down 20-0. We need a good quarterback play to bring us back. Whenever you have takeaways, that's not a good thing. And, of course, we have to clean that up. But he had to make a lot of good throws. He moved the ball. He was active, bought time with his feet. So he did some good things, like our football team, but we didn't do enough.
Brandon is clear. Do you have a decision to make with Matt? Did he show you enough to push for Brandon? Or?
No, Brandon Peters is our starting quarterback. Our backup quarterback played well for parts of the last game, but when our starting quarterback's ready to go, he'll go. And not only, of course, Matt, we got a chance to get Isaiah Williams some plays too. It's always good to just get your first reps as much as anything.
What do you guys need to do to maybe avoid that slow start in the first half, or just these quarters or drives that keep, not playing indicative of what you guys think you are?
Well, I like to give you an answer, straight answer right now, but that's what you keep trying to figure out as much as anything. Believe me, we had a good week of practice. I felt like we knew who was coming into town. Normally, you should be ready to go. Sometimes it just doesn't happen, but we can't spend too much time on that. We're trying to really ball up what we did during that period of time that we talked about. That's the same team. That's the team we can be as we go forward. If we show up like that second half of the football season, we're going to be celebrating a lot of victories.
Lovie, as a defensive coach yourself, how has Wisconsin been able to – they've got 4 shutouts in 6 games. They must be doing something awful right. What is it?
Well, they are. You're right. That's hard to do, first off, to play 6 games and have 4 shutouts. They've taken the ball away. I think they've scored 4 times, too. I think they've given up 4 touchdowns, and they've scored 4. I watch what they do. I wouldn't say reinventing football or anything like that. They're just where they're supposed to be. They play hard together. Yeah, they have playmakers. But they've been good for a period of time. And just not defensively, of course, what they do to complement their defense on the offensive side. Ball control. Most college offenses now are spread offenses, so teams don't play an offensive attack like the University of Wisconsin. So I think, both go hand in hand. For us, when you have some disappointment, you want to play a team like this at home, homecoming, all the things that, come into play with it.
What's unique about Wisconsin's offensive line run game with Jonathan Taylor as the main guy?
Well, first off, you start with Taylor. I mean, he's, arguably the best player in college football. He's an excellent run in between the tackles. He has size. He can hit you with power. He's faster than most people. He's on their track team. So you start off with that, downhill runner. And it seemed like Wisconsin, they lost a lot of offensive linemen from last year's team, but it seemed like there's another big guy that kind of goes, comes in. Good scheme. It's a good challenge. You have to be sound. You have to first like contact. We know what we're going to see. It's not going to be a finesse game this week. Need a big boy pads on, and that's what we plan on putting on.
Coach, is Larry Oladipo still suspended, or has he been reinstated?
When things change about injuries, suspensions, I'll let you know. Until then, we'll keep going the same way. Nothing has changed. Answer your question.
I'll imagine most any team that's going to play Wisconsin will probably be an underdog and maybe feel intimidation.
We underdogs this week?
What's that?
We underdogs this week?
I guess that's up to you.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to jump in right now. It is up to us. For us, yeah, we understand. And I told you about the stats. It's a good football team coming in, but we play good football teams. We had to play our best ball. We can live with the results if we play our best football. Playing our best football at home, we'll be okay with the results.
So if Taylor decides to leave after this year, you're probably fine with that? Or
Who is Taylor? Yeah, definitely would be fine with that.
Paul Christ, what have you made of what he's done with that program? And I know you have a little history with it.
A lot of history with Paul. Of course, I was on the staff when he played there at the University of Wisconsin way back in the day. But it's been a good, solid, fundamental coach all his life. Dad was a coach, so he's been around football all his life. The University of Wisconsin, they have something that they would like to do. Seemed like they've been running a similar scheme for a lot of years. Different people come and go, but the scheme remains the same. It's not like they're going to change their offense. We have an idea. Everyone that plays them has an idea of what you need to be able to stop to have success. And I'm going to go back to Taylor again. When you have a player like that, you can have guys in the right spot, but great ones find a way to make you miss. So we'll need a lot of gang tackling. Need of course to tackle a lot better than we have, previous games.
Is the passing game changed with Cone there and those wide receivers?
I think it still goes back to the running game first. You have to gang up to stop the running game. By doing that, you're going to have one-on-one situations outside where it's, a good wide receiver, possibly a great wide receiver, against defensive backs that he's a lot bigger than, most of the times faster than. That's the challenge also. In an ideal world, though, you would, University of Wisconsin would like to, they're going to get off the bus, the plane, whatever, running the football. We have to be able to stop them and make them go to a passing game and then hold up then.
Still only midway through the season. Do they look like a playoff team, what you've seen?
I'm going to say they're a good football team. And as I talk about we're midway through the season. Midway through the season, they played as well as anyone. In college ball, you can make a case for that. So that's where they are. But, you have to play the second half too. And for teams like the University of Illinois, we're pumped up that there's a second half of the season. There's second halves of games to give you an opportunity to regroup and play better.
Coach, you talked about the second half of the season. You guys scored 25 unanswered against the 16th ranked opponent. Can you throw that tape in and use that as a motivating factor for your guys heading into the second half?
You say, can we? We absolutely, we can, and we did. Most of our emphasis today was on that. There's a lot of negatives that you can read for. You can go in that black hole if you like. But for us, I want the guys to see, what we can be. As we go out recruiting, I'm not one that, I don't ask the coach, hey, show me the guy's worst plays. I ask, hey, show me the ceiling. What can this player be? And the same thing with our football team. So that's what they saw today, but they knew that. We knew exactly what happened during that game. Again, it's about how we start this one, though.
Lovie, looking at Wisconsin and how they've shut out for their first 6 opponents, are you guys looking at the tape and looking to see if you guys can do anything sort of outside the box from what these other teams have done?
We're going to try to do everything possible to have successful plays. Out of the box, what we've done, everything is on the table. That's the case always. You look at an opponent, see what has happened, see what teams have had, what type of success teams have had. And believe me, teams have had some success. They hadn't been able to maintain that success. The team up north played them fairly well. So there's some, some things that we've seen that other people have done that's given them a little bit of trouble, and hopefully we'll figure that out more than not.
How does the impact of Stanley Green help in your run game? Because the safety always loves to fly.
Should have talked about it. And I've been talking overall as a team, but there were some guys that played pretty good ball. We missed Stanley Green. He's been out for a period of time. That was his type of game. Stanley Green is a impact player, tough, physical football player, and we saw that throughout. Caused a couple of takeaways. We had caused a couple of which is good. We'll need that from him. Sidney Brown, of course, getting more reps with him. But the guy that defensively that seemed like every week is Jake Hansen. Got outstanding stats. His stats they have stats as good as any linebacker. Talk about as far as causing fumbles, recovering fumbles, interceptions, sacks. He's a big play guy that plays as hard as anyone.
You mentioned Saturday that it didn't necessarily change anything to have a better third quarter defensively, but looking back at the film, did you notice some things that were maybe different or better that allowed you to play better?
No, it does matter though. I'm talking overall with the record it doesn't, but just talk offensively. As I said, we had to score points. We scored 25 points, and that was running the football. It was a pretty good balanced run. Offensive line blocked better. Receivers made plays. Josh Bebe seems like we were able to get him the ball more. So there's some things that individually throughout on both sides of the football that we're able to do without just identifying every one. But there's a lot of things that had to fall into place, and they did.
You mentioned Isaiah Williams early. Obviously, the injuries kind of set him back a little bit, but what do those games mean to him? Just these reps mean for him, and what do you think of his development?
When you're a freshman, there's no substitute for experience, and he was able to get that against an opponent. We're playing a great defense this week, but last week that was a great defense coming in. That defense hadn't given up an awful lot. So for Isaiah to just have that, and we got a chance to see him run around a little bit, move his, use his legs. There's some moments that we saw that it has to help him as we go down the line.
Does it concern you at all that the run game hasn't matched the level it was able to last season?
It's coming. If you just look at the first half, we've identified that too. I'm just anxious. What I got from the last game, I'm anxious to see how we finish this second half as much as anything. How we come out. It's a big game for our program against a great opponent. Of course, we know we're definite underdogs. That should bring out the best in us. And I'm anxious to see what our best look like.
Have you been to Ireland
ever? No, I have not. My wife has. And there are a lot of course, she's from Chicago. As was mentioned early on, there are a lot of people in Chicago that claim to have some Irish heritage, I would say. She's one of them. I have not. Looking forward to it.
What was the room like when it was announced this morning?
We've had, seemed like a lot of special moments with our football team that brought a roar. Of course, the facility, moving into it, brought a roar. Today, similar situation. For college guys, they're excited about that. They understand what this trip means. This trip means as much as anything. So for the young guys, of course, they were really excited. For some of the older guys, Hanson, Dele Harding, just like Nick Algretti last year, didn't get a chance to go into the building. But they know it's a process and somebody's benefiting from everything that's been done. James McCord, I found out, we recruited, the staff before recruited James from down in Florida. I didn't know that about him. So he was pretty excited, to say the least, about it. Thank you very much.